Hi there, welcome or welcome back. I hope everyone is doing well. For those that are new to my channel, my name is T, and I simply like to create and help others like you make from scratch. With no templates, of course, because you know, they put limits on your creativity. So, for both my new and seasoned subscribers, thank you for being here supporting me as I support you. In honor of Black History Month, I just want to say a few words. Black history is American history, so throughout this month, take a moment to read about Black history. Learn about the achievements and contributions that were made, and learn about the sacrifices that you may have or have not heard about. Here are some helpful resources that will be linked below in the description box. Now, let's do a quick recap. In my last video, I made a basic 4 by 1.5 by 1.5 tuck box. In this video, I will demonstrate how to make a slightly bigger box, a 5 by 3 by 2 and a 5 by 3 by 1 tuck box. This box is great if you sell items like jewelry or small accessories. Also, if you're interested in seeing how you can personalize or brand your own product boxes in Cricut Design Space for your small business, watch this video. If you're ready, let's get started. Open Design Space and start a new project. Select a square and make the size 5 by 11. Place it on the X at 4 and the Y at 0. Select another square and make the size 10 by 7. Place it on the X at 1.5 and the Y at 4. Select a third square and make the size 13 by 3. And place this one on the X at 0 and the Y at 6. Now we're going to select all and then change the color to white. And with all 3 squares still selected, we're also going to weld the squares together to form one shape. And this will give us our base as well as the outline of our box. At this point, the welded shape should be positioned on the X and Y axis at 0. If it is not, place it back on the X and Y axis at 0. Now we need to add several score lines. I'm going to start from the top and work my way down. Select the score line and make the size 5. Rotate 90 degrees and place it on the X at 4 and the Y at 1. Select a square make the size 5 by 5. Convert it to a score line by going up to Operation and choose Score. Place it on the X at 4 and the Y at 4. Select another score line by duplicating the one from earlier by going over to the Layers panel and duplicate. Place it on the X at 4 and the Y at 6. Select another score line. Make the size 3. And place it on the X at 2 and the Y at 6. Select another score line by duplicating the one you just made. Go over to the Layers panel and select Duplicate. Place this duplicated score line on the X at 11 and the Y at 6. Select another score line and make the size 2. Place it on the X at 4 and the Y at 9. Duplicate this score line by going over to the Layers panel and selecting Duplicate. And place this one on the X at 9 and the Y at 9. Okay, and that should be all of the score lines that we need. The only other thing we need to add to the base of the box is the cut lines in the 4 corners, here, 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 and here. And to do that, we're going to select a score line. And the size should be 2.5, which it is. And we're going to convert this score line to a cut line. So I'm going up to Operation and clicking on Basic Cut. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. And I'm going to place this one on the X at 1.5 and the Y at 6. I'm going to duplicate this cut line. I'm going over to the Layers panel to duplicate. And I'm going to place it on the X at 1.5 and the Y at 9. I'm going to duplicate again by going back over to the Layers panel and clicking on Duplicate. And I'm going to place the third line on the X at 9 and the Y at 6. Duplicate one more time by going back over to the Layers panel and clicking on Duplicate. And place this one on the X at 9 and the Y at 9. Now we can select all and then attach. Now we're done with the layout of the box. Now we can add text or images that will be drawn with the pen. So I'm going to add text. I'm using the Cricut Sans font, the writing style, and the font size that I'm going to use is 18.76. And I'm going to add space between the letters. And I'm going to place it on the X at 5.25 and the Y at 8.375. Now what I'm going to do is just rotate or flip the box vertical. And this is the top of the box. And I'm also going to change the color. Now I'm going to select all and then attach. And we're done with this one. This one is the 5x3x2. Okay, and with this box, I chose to make this the top. Here are the 4 flaps here in the corners, which will fold in. Now, if I had left the box flipped the other way, you could add your text here on the inside if you wanted to. And then these are the flaps that would fold in here. So I'm just gonna flip it back over and then move on to the 5 by 3 by 1 box. So what I'm gonna do is hide this one by clicking on the eye over in the layers panel. I'm going to select a square and I'm going to make it 5 by 9. I'm going to place it on the X at 4 and the Y at 0. Select the second square and make the size 8 by 5. Place on the X at 2.5 and the Y at 4. Select the third square and make the size 9 by 3. And place on the X at 2 and the Y at 5. Now we're going to select all and then change the color to white. Just as we did with the other box, we're going to weld all 3 squares together to form one shape. This will give us the base as well as the outline of our box. So make sure you select all and then click on weld. Now this box should be positioned on the X at 2 and the Y at 0. If it is not, put it on the X at 2 and the Y at 0. Again, I'm going to start from the top and work my way down. So I'm going to select a score line and make the size 5. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. And I'm going to place it on the X at 4 and the Y at 1. Select a square and make the size 5 by 4. Now convert it to a score line by going up to Operation and choose Score. Place it on the X at 4 and the Y at 4. Select another score line by duplicating the one from earlier by going over to the Layers panel and select Duplicate. Place on the X at 4 and the Y at 5. Select another score line and make the size 3. Place it on the X at 3 and the Y at 5. Select another score line by duplicating this one. Place this one on the X at 10 and the Y at 5. Now select another score line and make the size 1. Place it on the X at 4 and the Y at 8. Duplicate this score line by going over to the Layers panel and selecting Duplicate. Place it on the X at 9 and the Y at 8. Okay, and that's all of the score lines that we need. The only other thing we need to add, like with the other box, cut lines in the corners for the flaps. So select the score line. Make the size 1.5. Rotate it 90 degrees. and convert it to a cut line by going up to Operation and choose Basic Cut. Place this one on X at 2.5 and the Y at 5. Duplicate this one, selecting Duplicate. Place this one on the X at 9 and the Y at 5. Duplicate again. Place this one on the X-axis at 2.5 and the Y at 8. And duplicate again. And place this last cut line on the X-axis at 9 and the Y at 8. Now I'm going to select all and then attach. Now I'm going to add text, and this time I'm going to place the text on the inside of the box. So since I have the box this way, this will be considered the inside of the box. Again, I'm using the Cricut Sans font, the writing style, and the font size, the same as the other, 18.76. I'm going to add space between my letters. I'm going to move this over here. And then I'm just going to place this on the X and Y axis at 0. And then I'm going to select the text and I'm going to place it on the X axis at 3.25 and the Y at 2.325. And I'm also going to change the color. I'm going to select all and then attach. And you're done. And this is the 5 by 3 by 1 tuck box. Now, since there is a limitation in Design Space, as you can see, the layout is 9 by 9. You will not be able to print this out. If you wanted to have the option to print the text out before the machine scores and cuts, you will have to reduce the size. Now, if I wanted to make a smaller box, what I could do is I'm going to duplicate this one. I'll just move this one over here. And what I can do is I can change the size. Just make it 6.75. And I've just made a smaller size. So since the total layout size is 6.75 by 6.75, it gives a 3.75 by 2.25 box approximately. So, and I'll show you how that looks as well. So that is pretty much it. What I'm going to do is unhide the other box. And I'm just going to move this. I'll move this one here. And then move this here. Let me reduce the size so you can see. And here are the 3 sizes. This is the 5 by 3 by 2. This is a 5 by 3 by 1, and this is the 3.75 by 2.25. Okay, and before you hit make it, just make sure you check your layers panel to ensure all the correct operations are set. And once you've done that, you want to go ahead and click on make it. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on make it, and then I'll return to show you how I put them together so you can see how they look. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what I've shared, give it a positive like, drop a comment, and subscribe. Also, if you have a topic suggestion on what you would like to see, drop them in the comment section below. Remember, stay positive, appreciate your progress, and I'll see you in the next video.